And I'm the district instructor of work, which means our ritual for the 23rd Masonic District. And the district is comprised of Clifton Forge 166, Covington 171, and Millborough number 28. At this time, I would like to introduce and recognize the Grand Master of Masons in Virginia for 2016, Most Worshipful James Edward Litton, who's here with his lovely wife, Lady Ann. Please. Most Worshipful Litton will be making some remarks after the ceremony is over. What do you think? Isn't this theater fantastic? This theater, after this extensive renovation, is truly a jewel for Clifton Forge and the Allegheny Highlands. Just amazing. Full credit to the Masonic Theatre Preservation Foundation for what's been accomplished. Also wanted to thank the Historic Masonic Theatre for its support. They actually invited us here to put on this reenactment, and it's been nothing short of a great, entertaining experience working with the folks here at the theater. Wanted to put out a special thank you to Jeff Stern. Jeff is in the back, and he is the executive director of the theater. Jeff, give away. Thank you, Jeff, for all your help and assistance with this performance. We also want to thank the significant others of the cast. They've supported all of us through 4 or 5 months of meetings and weekly rehearsals. So, significant others, ladies all, thank you very much. I wanted to take a couple of minutes just to cover some details and provide a little bit of background before we start. Ritual is an important part of Freemasonry. During meetings and public events, we use rituals that have remained basically unchanged through the last 250 years. What you are about to see today is the ritual used by Masons to lower cornerstones, and it's been like this for centuries. This is the same ceremony that was used at the cornerstone laying of many public buildings, including the White House, the Capitol Building, and George Washington Monument. Another point that I wanted to make was that with the exception of Jeff Stern, who I just introduced, who plays the role of the builder, all of the cast today are Masons. We've been working hard since March, rehearsing our parts, memorizing our lines, and learning the floor work. You know, where to move, how far to go before you stop, things like that. The thing to keep in mind, if you would, is that none of the cast are professional actors, and for many of them, this is the first time they've performed on a stage before a live audience. So be kind. Okay? Another point, a real cornerstone laying would be outside at a construction site, not on the stage, obviously. But even then, if you look at some of the photos that go back to the early 1900s, you'll notice that even then, at a construction site, the Masons performing this ceremony were at the very least dressed in dark suits and quite often dressed in tuxedos. This ritual, while it is historically correct, the ceremony we're going to perform today, we did have to take some theatrical liberties with the layout of the stage to avoid some of the cast sitting across the front of the stage with their backs to you. So just bear that in mind if you've actually been to a real cornerstone laying. This is not, it's close, but it's not completely accurate, but it's for your benefit. And bear with me. Another thing to point out about the layout is that traditionally a Masonic Lodge has an east, west, a north, and south. And for those of you, especially from Clifton Forge, who do know the directions of the streets, that is east. But for the purposes of today's performance, the Worshipful Master, who normally sits in the east of a Masonic Lodge, will be over here. but we had to do it that way to accommodate the stage. The Holy Bible that we will be using during this ceremony dates back to 1898. It is from Lowmore Lodge number 166, which was chartered in 1881. And that lodge merged with another lodge here in the Clifton area, Allegheny 252, around 1905 or 7. And it's now known as Clifton Forge 166. Now, this particular Bible that we're using today may very well be the one used at the original Cornerstone Lane on July 4th, 1905. And by the way, if you want to have a look at that original Cornerstone afterward, it is truly in the northeast corner of this building, outside, over by the Masonic Theatre. During the ceremony, the lodge secretary will be asked to read a list of contents of the box or the time capsule to be placed in the cornerstone. The list that he's going to read is a list of the actual contents of the original cornerstone. And they were put in there at that time in 1905. That particular time capsule box was removed in the mid-70s and opened. And unfortunately, there had been some water ingress, so a lot of the paper items were destroyed. But anyway, so that list is the original list. And lastly, if this reenactment prompts any questions about the Cornerstone ritual, or more especially about Freemasonry in general, please ask any of the Masons. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Again, thank you all for being here, and we hope that you enjoy this reenactment.